The universe listens to every word you speak, not metaphorically, but vibrationally, faithfully, and precisely. Every sound you release carries a tone, and every tone sends a message into the invisible network of divine intelligence that governs all creation. Your words are signals, living frequencies that the universe translates into form. When you say, "I can't," the vibration of limitation travels outward and magnetically returns as closed doors and missed chances. When you say, "I can," the vibration of confidence opens paths, draws allies, and unlocks opportunities you could not have seen before. The spoken word is the original creative force. Long before anything becomes visible, it exists first as sound, the hum of intention, the whisper of belief, the declaration of faith. You are never simply speaking into empty space. You are instructing energy. Words are not echoes that fade, they are seeds that grow. The universe, in its divine impartiality, takes every word you utter as a command. It does not discern between joke or complaint, sarcasm or sincerity. It simply responds to vibration. And so, careless speech becomes expensive, for each idle phrase carries creative power that cannot be withdrawn once released. Think of your words as tuning forks. Each one vibrates at a specific frequency and summons matching energy. When your words carry fear, the tone you emit attracts confusion and lack. When your words carry faith, gratitude, and certainty, they harmonize with abundance, peace, and opportunity. The law is exact. The vibration of your words determines the vibration of your life. The universe mirrors your language. Whatever melody you send out, it sings back in harmony. This is why every great teacher has urged humanity to watch its speech, to guard the tongue, for the tongue shapes the path. When you speak of struggle, your life must mirror it. When you speak of overflow, the doors of increase begin to open. The universe does not resist or judge, it only reflects. You cannot speak poverty and expect prosperity to answer. You cannot complain about lack and expect abundance to arrive. To shift your outer world, begin by shifting your inner vocabulary. There is power in declaring your good aloud. Words spoken in faith carry more weight than thoughts that remain silent. The act of speech charges thought with motion, and motion calls matter into form. When you affirm, "Everything I need is already on its way," you are not pretending, you are broadcasting a signal of belief that moves energy into alignment with your declaration. The universe, hearing this new vibration, begins to organize people, timing, and circumstance to fulfill your word. But beware of divided language. When you speak faith in the morning and fear by evening, your vibration wavers. The universe cannot respond to mixed signals. It must hear a clear tone, steady and unwavering. Consistency in speech builds momentum in manifestation. Every day, speak as if the promise is already kept, as if the supply is already yours, as if the doors are already open. Speak until your voice carries the certainty of truth. The universe will not delay in reflecting that certainty back to you. Your words also carry emotional resonance. It is not only what you say, but how you say it. Speak with love, and love returns. Speak with peace, and peace surrounds you. Speak with gratitude, and blessings multiply. The tone of your voice imprints the atmosphere around you. The more joy, faith, and assurance you pour into your speech, the higher your vibration climbs, and at that higher altitude, you meet the flow of divine abundance that was waiting all along. Silence is also speech in the higher law. When words of doubt rise to your tongue, silence them. Do not argue with fear, outshine it with calm. The universe reads even your pauses. When you choose not to speak negativity, you choose not to vibrate it. Every moment you withhold complaint, you strengthen the frequency of peace. Silence, when used wisely, becomes the reset button of your vibration. The universe is not deaf to you. It hears your declarations, your affirmations, your sighs, your laughter. Every word you release is a creative imprint on the field of possibility. The great secret is that you are never ignored, only mirrored. You have spoken every season of your life into being, consciously or unconsciously. Now speak your next one with awareness. Speak deliberately. Speak richly. Speak words that align with the life you wish to live. Say, my words are magnetic. My speech carries power. I speak in harmony with divine wealth, and abundance flows to me in perfect order. Feel those words as energy, not merely sound. Feel them vibrate through your being, anchoring faith and confidence in your spirit. Each repetition strengthens the signal until it becomes impossible for the universe not to respond. Every sunrise grants you a new chance to speak your world into form. Each morning, declare what you desire to experience. Let your words become the architecture of prosperity, health, and peace. Refuse to lend your voice to complaint, fear, or doubt. Instead, lend it to vision, gratitude, and certainty. When you do, the universe leans closer, listening, ready to mirror your new melody of abundance. So speak as one who knows that the universe listens always, perfectly, lovingly. Speak as though every syllable is sacred, for it is. Speak with the awareness that the power that flung the stars into space is the same power waiting for your next word. Your speech is the brush. The universe is the canvas. Paint wisely, boldly, beautifully, and the masterpiece of your life will reflect every word you have spoken in faith. Words carry creative power. They are not mere vibrations of sound. They are the living tools of creation itself. Every word spoken with belief sets spiritual law into motion, shaping the invisible substance of life into visible form. Before any great thing appears in your experience, it exists first as a word, a declaration, a decree, a command sent forth into the field of infinite potential. The ancient truth still stands. In the beginning was the Word. Creation begins not with the hands, but with the tongue. Every time you speak, you are setting a cause into motion. Words are seeds planted in the soil of the universe, and every seed must yield a harvest after its kind. Words of lack produce lack. Words of confidence produce success. Words of peace produce harmony. The law of the spoken word is precise and impartial. It returns exactly what is sent out. There are no idle words. Each one carries the weight of energy, emotion, and intention. The lips of a wise soul become instruments of abundance because they understand this sacred law. When you say, I never have enough, you are writing a decree that your world will faithfully obey. When you say, money flows to me freely and joyfully, you summon that very experience from the invisible. You are the author of your circumstances, and speech is your pen. Life cannot give you anything different from what you consistently declare. Your words sculpt the atmosphere around you. They form the tone of your reality long before events take shape. Consider how a single word can change the temperature of a room. Hope, love, prosperity, joy, these are not just sounds. They are vibrations that lift and inspire. They change the energy of those who hear them. Likewise, words of anger, fear, or despair cast shadows over the mind and atmosphere. The energy they release lingers long after they're spoken. This is why the Master of Life chooses every word with purpose. Each phrase is a brushstroke in the painting of destiny. The creative power of words does not depend on eloquence or education, but on vibration and conviction. A whispered word of faith is stronger than a shouted word of fear. It is not the loudness of speech, but the alignment of belief that gives words their force. When heart, thought, and word unite in harmony, manifestation follows with precision. Speak your good with feeling, see it in your mind as already accomplished, and let your tone be one of certainty. The universe rushes to match that vibration. Words build the architecture of your inner world, and your inner world shapes your outer experience. Every complaint weakens the foundation of prosperity. Every affirmation strengthens it. You cannot build a palace of wealth using the bricks of worry. You cannot create joy while repeating words of misery. The speech of the abundant is filled with gratitude and expectation. The speech of the fearful is filled with doubt and delay. The difference between the two lies not in circumstance but in conversation. There is a sacred rhythm in speech. Every word you utter sends ripples through consciousness, and those ripples gather momentum until they manifest as form. To speak without awareness is to create by default. To speak with awareness is to create by design. Your words command the energy that shapes matter. They are the divine instruments through which the invisible becomes visible. This is the reason every word should be chosen as carefully as gold, for it is far more valuable. Imagine your words as musical notes. Each one carries a pitch that either harmonizes or clashes with the frequency of abundance. When your speech is filled with gratitude, affirmation, and praise, your vibration rises into harmony with the rhythm of wealth. When it is filled with complaint or self-pity, the tone falls flat, and the music of prosperity cannot play through you. To tune your life to the melody of abundance, tune your words first. Even casual conversation carries creative weight. A simple statement such as "I'm always lucky," "I attract blessings easily," or "everything works out for me," builds momentum toward good. The subconscious mind records every word and turns it into a program that shapes your behavior, your expectations, and your results. It cannot take a joke, it believes what it hears repeatedly. Speak words of wealth until your subconscious accepts them as truth. Then, without effort, your actions, timing, and intuition will align to make them real. When you understand the power of speech, you no longer use words to describe your life, you use them to design it. You speak not from your current condition, but from your divine position. Even when appearances seem contrary, you hold your language in faith. You say, "Everything is unfolding in perfect order," and the invisible forces respond. The power of words does not bend to circumstance, it bends circumstance to itself. The tongue, rightly used, is stronger than any obstacle, for it commands the very substance of creation. You have spoken yourself into every season of your life, the joyful ones and the difficult ones. But here lies your glory. You can speak yourself into a new one. Every dawn is another chance to use your words as keys to open new doors. Begin each day declaring, "Today, I walk in divine abundance. My path is clear. My supply is overflowing." Speak these words as though they already describe your reality, and soon they will. Your words are your servants waiting for direction. Send them out with clarity and conviction, and they will return carrying results. Send them out in confusion, and they will return empty. Life listens to you more closely than you realize. Every declaration sets law in motion. Every statement builds your world. So speak deliberately, joyfully, and with reverence for the power that flows through your tongue. For truly, words are not sounds, they are spirit in motion, energy made audible, creation made alive. Your money story begins in your mouth. Every financial chapter you live through is written by the words you speak. Before a bill arrives, before an opportunity appears, before a door opens or closes, the story has already been told in the language you've been using. You may think your financial situation is written by external circumstances, by the economy, your upbringing, your job, or your education, but the true author of your money life is you, and your pen is your tongue. Each word you utter about money becomes a command to the subconscious mind and a signal to the universe. When you say, "I never have enough," you stamp that belief into the fabric of your reality. When you repeat, "Money is hard to earn," you create resistance in the flow of wealth. When you sigh, "It always disappears," you build a vibration of loss and scarcity. The subconscious accepts these statements as law and begins arranging experiences to prove them true. It is loyal, not logical. It does not question, it obeys. Whatever story you tell repeatedly, it brings to life. Your words shape your relationship with money as surely as tone shapes a melody. If you speak of lack, you live in lack. If you speak of abundance, you live in abundance. The words you use daily about money are not harmless chatter. They are creative blueprints. You are scripting your financial experience each time you open your mouth. Every complaint becomes a line of the story. Every affirmation a plot twist toward prosperity. You cannot rise above the language you use. People often speak about money with fear and frustration. I'm broke. I can't afford that. Money slips through my fingers. They say it jokingly, lightly, or out of habit, never realizing they are planting seeds of limitation. The words may seem innocent, but the law of speech knows no humor. It responds only to vibration. To say, I'm broke, is to call forth conditions that match that vibration. The universe cannot bring you wealth while you insist, through your own language, that you are poor. Every time you speak about money, you are programming your reality. You are declaring your expectation and teaching the universe how to treat you. The moment you shift your speech, your story begins to change. Say, I always have more than enough. And your mind starts looking for evidence to confirm it. Say, money flows to me freely and in perfect order, and your actions, emotions, and intuition align to make it true. Your subconscious mind becomes your silent business partner, working day and night to create the experiences your words have described. Your money story is not inherited, it is reinforced. You may have grown up hearing others speak words of struggle or fear about money, and unknowingly adopted the same script. We can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. People like us have to work twice as hard. But the moment you awaken to the power of your words, you can edit that script. You can begin a new chapter, one that speaks of ease, flow, and abundance. You can replace the old family vocabulary of limitation with a new language of divine provision. Speak about money as if it were your trusted ally, not your enemy. When you treat it with appreciation, it responds with loyalty. Thank your money for serving you, for circulating through your life, for multiplying as it moves. Say aloud, money is energy. It loves to flow to me and through me. This affirmation shifts your emotional relationship with wealth from fear to harmony. Money does not come where it is resented or feared. It comes where it is respected and welcomed. Notice your conversations about money. How often do you reinforce scarcity without realizing it? How often do you speak of bills, debt, or difficulty? Each time you speak those words, you re-energize the same vibration. Begin to change the dialogue. Replace I have to pay this bill with I am grateful to circulate money for the blessings I've received. Replace I'm trying to make ends meet with my income expands under divine law. You are not denying reality, you are directing it. The old story dissolves as you tell a new one. Your tongue is the switch that turns the flow of prosperity on or off. Speak fear, and you close the circuit. Speak faith, and energy flows. The more confidently you speak about wealth, the more confident you become in attracting it. The law of vibration does not respond to begging or pleading, it responds to knowing. Speak not as one hoping for abundance, but as one already aligned with it. Say, I am one with divine supply. All that is mine by right now comes to me with ease. These words carry power because they align with truth. Your money story is not what happens to you, it is what happens through you. It begins in your inner dialogue and expands outward. If you continually say, things always work out for me financially, soon the evidence appears. If you say, I always attract new sources of income, your intuition begins guiding you toward them. Every sentence becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The energy behind your words writes the next chapter before you live it. Even in moments of challenge, hold your speech in faith. Speak of what you desire, not what you fear. Instead of saying, I don't know how I'll manage, say, divine supply is already making a way. The spoken word bridges the gap between problem and solution. The vibration of faith draws invisible help from sources you cannot yet see. Money is spiritual substance, it responds to certainty, not anxiety. So guard your mouth as you would guard a treasure chest. Fill it only with words that build, expand, and bless your financial life. Let your speech be rich with gratitude and expectancy. Each day, declare, money flows easily, my income expands continuously. I live in divine abundance now. Speak it, believe it, live it, and your reality will have no choice but to reflect it. For truly, your money story begins in your mouth. What you speak about money becomes the script of your wealth. Make your words golden, and your life will shimmer to match. The frequency of wealth is gratitude and assurance. These two vibrations, thankfulness and certainty, form the golden tone upon which prosperity harmonizes. When your heart vibrates with gratitude and your words resonate with assurance, you tune yourself to the natural rhythm of abundance. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you align with. Gratitude lifts your energy and assurance anchors it. Together, they create a frequency that money, opportunity, and success recognize instantly. Gratitude is the magnetic current of abundance. It is the voice of recognition that says, "I already have more than enough." Even before the evidence appears, when you give thanks, you tell the universe, "I am aware of the good already flowing in my life." That awareness multiplies what you acknowledge. Whatever you appreciate expands, and whatever you ignore contracts. Gratitude does not wait for perfect conditions, it creates them. The person who lives in continual thanks stands under an open sky of blessing because gratitude opens the channels of divine supply. Each word of gratitude is a note that vibrates in harmony with the rhythm of wealth. When you wake in the morning and say, "Thank you for this new day, for the roof over my head, for the money circulating in my life," you are not only acknowledging the visible, you are summoning the invisible. You are calling forth new avenues of provision. Gratitude is the sound of receptivity. It announces to the universe that you are ready for more. A grateful heart becomes a magnet for miracles because it vibrates with peace instead of fear. Gratitude also dissolves the illusion of lack. Lack is not a shortage of supply, but a shortage of appreciation. The moment you focus on what is missing, you slip into the vibration of scarcity. But when you shift your attention to what is present and good, the energy changes instantly. Gratitude transforms your emotional state, and that change in feeling transforms your results. A person who gives thanks for a single dollar opens the way for 10. A person who complains about $10 closes the door on 100. The vibration of wealth listens for the voice of gratitude, not the noise of dissatisfaction. Assurance is gratitude's steady companion. It is the calm knowing that your needs are met even before they are visible. It is faith in motion, confidence in divine timing. Assurance is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is the quiet conviction that the same power that governs the stars governs your supply. When you speak and act from assurance, you no longer grasp or chase, you expect. You walk as one who already possesses. The vibration of assurance is steady, not hurried. It says, "Everything I need is arriving in perfect order." It does not panic when appearances contradict it. It does not waver in uncertainty. Assurance knows that divine law never fails. You can feel assurance in the posture of those who trust life. Their tone is peaceful, their words are clear, their decisions flow from confidence, not fear. When you stand in assurance, your vibration emits stability, and money being energy responds to that stability like metal to a magnet. Gratitude draws wealth near, and assurance keeps it secure. Together, they form the frequency that sustains prosperity. Some people attract money through effort, but lose it through fear. Others draw opportunities through enthusiasm, but block them through doubt. Gratitude and assurance correct both extremes. Gratitude attracts, assurance anchors. Gratitude opens the door. Assurance keeps it open. One without the other is incomplete. To live in this frequency, practice gratitude until it becomes your language and assurance until it becomes your atmosphere. Begin each day by naming 3 things you are thankful for. Then affirm 3 truths you are certain of. I am thankful for the supply already in my hands. I am thankful for the ideas that increase my income. I am thankful for the unseen forces working for my good. Then declare, I am certain that money flows to me continually. I am certain that divine timing never fails me. I am certain that abundance is my birthright. Speak these words until you feel their vibration settling into your being. When you combine gratitude and assurance, you erase the vibration of fear. Fear is the static that blocks the frequency of wealth. It whispers, "What if it doesn't work? What if I lose it?" Gratitude answers, "I am already blessed." Assurance replies, "Nothing can fail that is founded in divine order." Together they silence fear completely. In that stillness, wealth flows freely, guided by the calm current of your faith. The universe responds not to pleading or desperation, but to vibration. When your tone is filled with worry, it mirrors that worry back to you. When your tone carries thankfulness and confidence, it mirrors that harmony in the form of opportunities, ideas, and prosperity. Speak gratitude often, not as ritual but as rhythm. Speak assurance softly, not as arrogance but as faith. Let your words hum with the certainty that all is well, that life is generous, and that abundance is your natural state. Money has no will of its own, it moves according to energy. Gratitude and assurance tell money exactly where to go and why. Gratitude says, "Come joyfully." Assurance says, "Stay peacefully." When you hold this vibration, you never need to chase wealth. It recognizes your frequency and finds its way to you. Money becomes your reflection, calm, loyal, abundant, because you have become the vibration of calm, loyalty, and abundance yourself. Even in times of transition, keep your gratitude intact and your assurance unshaken. Give thanks in the middle of the process, not just at the result. Say, "I may not see it yet, but I know it is unfolding." This faith-filled gratitude keeps the signal strong. The person who remains thankful and assured in uncertainty becomes unstoppable, for they no longer depend on outer proof, they live in inner knowing, and inner knowing always calls outer manifestation to match it. So let gratitude be the melody you sing, and assurance be the steady rhythm that carries it. Together they create the sound that the universe cannot resist, the frequency of wealth. When you live in gratitude, you are rich already. When you walk in assurance, you remain rich forever. Idle speech blocks prosperity because every word is a seed, and careless words plant weeds in the garden of your wealth. The mouth is a workshop of creation, a sacred instrument designed to call forth form from formlessness. When you use it without intention, when you fill the air with gossip, complaint, or fear, you release vibrations that confuse the very forces meant to serve you. The universe listens to tone and rhythm as much as content. Idle speech is like static in a radio signal. It distorts your frequency, scattering the power that could have built your abundance. The law of vibration never sleeps. It translates every idle comment, every doubtful phrase, into a corresponding experience. You cannot say, "I'm always broke," in jest and expect riches to appear. You cannot say, "Nothing ever works out for me," and then be surprised when things falter. Words are not toys, they are tools. When handled without purpose, they dull your creative edge and block the current of supply. Prosperity cannot flow into a life filled with contradiction, affirming abundance one moment and negating it the next. Idle speech wastes the currency of creation. Every sentence you utter carries energy, and energy demands direction. When your words wander aimlessly, so does your money. When your conversation drifts into complaint, comparison, or casual negativity, you leak the very power that could have built your dreams. Many people speak more words of limitation in 1 hour than words of faith in a week. Then they wonder why life feels heavy and progress slow. But life only mirrors what is spoken. The more you misuse speech, the more you miscreate your reality. Idle words are not harmless. They carry the subtle poison of distraction. Gossip lowers your frequency because it draws your attention to the flaws of others rather than the perfection of divine order. Complaining anchors you to the very conditions you wish to escape. Even small talk that rehearses struggle, money worries, economic fears, or self-criticism ties you to the vibration of lack. Every careless word chips away at your magnetic power. Silence, on the other hand, preserves energy. Wise silence is golden because it gathers strength. When your words are few but charged with intention, they become creative lightning bolts instead of weak sparks. Prosperity demands precision of speech. When your words are pure, your path clears. When your conversation becomes constructive, the flow of abundance quickens. Speak with purpose, or do not speak at all. The masters of manifestation are deliberate in language. They never give voice to fear, they never repeat defeat. They speak only what they wish to experience. Every word they release is an affirmation dressed in power to them. Speech is sacred currency, and they spend it only on increase. Idle speech blocks prosperity because it fills the atmosphere of your mind with clutter. The mental atmosphere is like a spiritual climate. It determines what grows in your experience. If you fill your space with idle chatter, there is no room for divine ideas to take root. Prosperity is born in clarity, not confusion. It thrives in minds that speak less and listen more, that pause before responding, that weigh each word for its creative value. Each moment of silence between words is a gathering of spiritual energy, preparing your next sentence to carry greater power. You can feel the difference between idle speech and intentional speech. Idle words drain you. They scatter your focus and dull your intuition. Intentional words uplift you. They sharpen your vision and draw results. When you speak idly, you often leave a conversation feeling heavy. When you speak purposefully, you leave it energized and at peace. This is no accident, it is vibration at work. Energy always responds to alignment. If you align with truth, you rise. If you align with chaos, you sink. Guard your speech as you would guard treasure. Do not let frustration slip through your lips unchecked. Do not allow yourself to joke about failure or speak curses disguised as humor. When you catch yourself saying something idle, pause, cancel it mentally, and replace it with truth. If you say, "Money never stays with me," quickly affirm, "Money loves to stay and grow in my hands." If you murmur, "I'm always so unlucky," replace it with, "Everything is working out perfectly for my good." Each correction realigns your frequency and restores your power. Idle speech often springs from impatience, the need to fill silence, to prove, to explain, to control. But true creators are never anxious. They know that power resides in stillness. The wealth, conscious person speaks when inspiration strikes and remains silent otherwise. They do not rush to answer every question or react to every event. They speak from guidance, not emotion. Their words carry weight because they come from a calm center of knowing. This poise itself is prosperity. It is the inner richness that precedes outer wealth. Remember, prosperity is not only about money, it is about the flow of good in all areas of life. Idle speech blocks that flow because it turns your attention outward, to gossip, complaint, or noise, instead of inward, where your creative command resides. The more you discipline your tongue, the more life obeys your intention. The more selective your words, the more selective your experiences. When you speak with mindfulness, you tell the universe, "I know my power and I use it wisely." Your voice was never meant to echo limitation. It was meant to decree abundance. Idle speech is the misuse of this holy gift. Every word counts. Every tone carries a vibration. When you realize that speech is the steering wheel of your destiny, you begin to drive your life consciously toward prosperity. Speak only what you wish to see. Speak increase, not decrease, harmony, not conflict, wealth, not worry. Let every word rise from gratitude and assurance, and the blocks will dissolve. The universe does not respond to idle chatter. It responds to focused command. When your words become clear, your path becomes clear. When your speech vibrates with purpose, prosperity cannot help but flow. Train your tongue to speak blessings only. Choose words that create expansion, not contraction. Let silence replace meaningless talk, and let meaning replace silence. For when your speech aligns with divine law, your prosperity will no longer be delayed. It will rush to meet you, carried on the frequency of your chosen words. Affirmations are energy commands, not mere sentences, not hopeful wishes, but powerful decrees sent into the fabric of the universe. Every word you affirm is a pulse of spiritual electricity, shaping unseen substance into visible form. Affirmations are how you give direction to energy. They are how you tell the invisible what to become visible. You are not simply repeating phrases, you are broadcasting frequencies. When spoken with faith and emotion, affirmations become commands that matter itself must obey. Every word you speak carries a charge. Some words weaken your field, others strengthen it. Affirmations strengthen because they align you with truth. The truth of abundance, peace, and divine supply is already established in the unseen, but affirmations tune your mind to it. You are not creating abundance out of nothing, you are commanding your awareness to align with the abundance that already exists. When you say, "I am prosperous," you are not lying, you are speaking from the level of the unseen reality that is more enduring than appearances. The universe recognizes your words not by their sound, but by their vibration, and vibration follows conviction. Affirmations spoken without faith are empty noise, but affirmations spoken with inner certainty move mountains. You must feel what you say. You must speak as one who knows. The tone of your voice, the steadiness of your belief, the emotion behind your words, all of it transmits energy. When you affirm wealth, love, or success with deep feeling, you create an energetic mold into which substance rushes to fill. You are the sculptor, and your affirmations are your tools. Every declaration shapes the invisible clay of life until it hardens into your experience. Your affirmations are orders placed with the divine supply. They are precise instructions to universal intelligence. If your orders are unclear, you receive unclear results. If your commands are mixed with doubt, the outcome will be delayed. But if your affirmations are clear, strong, and consistent, the law of vibration fulfills them unfailingly. It is not personal, it is principle. The law does not decide whether you deserve your words. It simply reproduces them. That is why careless affirmations, "I can't afford it," "nothing ever works out for me," "I always get sick," are just as potent, though destructive. The universe fulfills both faith and fear impartially. You must therefore guard your speech with vigilance, for every statement is a command. Affirmations are your daily dialogue with the infinite. They are how you reprogram the subconscious mind, which is the channel through which divine power operates. The subconscious does not argue, it accepts whatever you feed it repeatedly and transforms it into reality. Each affirmation you speak plants a seed in the soil of your subconscious. If you plant faith, you reap miracles. If you plant doubt, you reap struggle. The subconscious is fertile ground and it never rests. So fill it daily with words of life. I am rich in ideas. Money flows to me easily. Everything I need is on its way. The mistake many make is treating affirmations as mechanical rituals, repeating words without aligning the feeling. But the true power lies in emotional congruence, saying it until you feel it, and feeling it until you see it. The moment your words and your feelings unite, the command is complete. The energy goes forth instantly, and the manifestation begins. This is not superstition, it is spiritual science. The universe responds to vibration, and emotion is the amplifier of that vibration. When your words are filled with gratitude, joy, and certainty, they carry the highest frequency possible. Every affirmation you speak should be present tense, positive, and personal. The subconscious does not recognize future promises like "I will be prosperous." It only knows now. Speak as though it is already done. "I am prosperous now." Say, "Money flows freely to me," and not "I hope money comes." Replace "I'm trying" with "I am doing." Replace one day with today. Speak in the language of already. The universe mirrors your now, not your someday. Affirmations are also acts of spiritual authority. You were created to speak things into being. Your words were never meant to beg, they were meant to command. This is why when you affirm truth, you are not asking for permission, you are activating law. When you say, "I am guided and supplied," you are not pleading with fate, You are commanding energy to arrange itself accordingly. Divine substance rushes to obey the one who knows their power. Speak boldly, but humbly. Speak as one who is one with the source, not separate from it. Repetition is how you build energy momentum. Every time you repeat an affirmation with feeling, you strengthen the vibration until it becomes dominant. At first, your words may feel unnatural, but repetition reshapes belief, and belief reshapes reality. The more you affirm your wealth, the less resistance remains. The old patterns of fear and lack begin to dissolve. You start to expect abundance rather than chase it. Your energy steadies, and when energy steadies, manifestation accelerates. Affirmations are not about convincing the universe. They are about convincing yourself. The supply is already yours, it is your own belief that must catch up. When you affirm your worthiness, your wealth, your divine right to prosperity, you remove the inner barriers that once blocked your flow. The law is always ready. It is you who must come into alignment. Each affirmation builds that bridge. Each word closes the gap between what you desire and what you experience. Your spoken words should always follow your vision, not your circumstances. Say what you want to see, not what you currently see. When appearances contradict your affirmations, keep speaking. Say it louder within your soul. I am prosperous, I am provided for, I am guided perfectly. Persistence is proof of faith. To affirm truth in the face of opposition is to demonstrate mastery. That is when energy bends to your will. The unseen reorganizes to match your conviction. Affirmations are energy commands, and every command you speak echoes through creation. Let your affirmations be living words, charged with certainty, gratitude, and joy. Speak them in the morning to set your frequency, throughout the day to renew your focus, and at night to seal your consciousness in peace. Let them become the rhythm of your inner dialogue, the music of your belief, for as you affirm, so you become, and as you become, so you create. When your words align with truth, your reality must follow because the universe always obeys the command of faith. Forgiveness clears the static, the invisible interference that blocks your connection to abundance. Just as a radio must be tuned to a clear frequency to receive perfect sound, your spirit must be tuned to love to receive perfect supply. Resentment, anger, guilt, or bitterness are the static that distorts your signal. They cloud your vibration, weaken your affirmations, and repel prosperity. You may work hard, think positively, and repeat affirmations daily, but if unforgiveness lingers in your heart, the signal remains scrambled. The universe hears every word you speak, but responds to the tone behind it, and forgiveness restores that tone to harmony. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is cleansing. It does not condone wrongdoing, it releases you from its vibration. Every grievance you hold keeps part of your energy trapped in the past, and energy stuck in the past cannot create a wealthy present. Each time you rehearse an old hurt, you reattach to it, draining power from your creative flow. Prosperity lives in the now, and forgiveness is what brings you back to the present moment. It clears the emotional static so that your thoughts, words, and actions vibrate purely again. Unforgiveness is like holding onto a heavy stone and wondering why you cannot rise. It may feel justified after all. Someone hurt you, disappointed you, betrayed you, but while you carry it, you remain anchored to the frequency of pain, not power. Life cannot deliver abundance through a heart closed by resentment. Forgiveness opens that gate. It says, I no longer give energy to what limits me. I choose peace over pain. I choose clarity over confusion. The moment you make that choice, energy begins to flow freely again. Forgiveness is also self-liberation. It is not always about another person. Often, it is about forgiving yourself for mistakes, missteps, or missed chances. Many people block their prosperity by silently punishing themselves for the past. They may say, I should have known better, or I don't deserve success after what I did. These silent judgments lower the vibration of worthiness, which is the foundation of wealth. You cannot attract abundance while secretly believing you don't deserve it. Forgiveness dissolves that inner verdict. It reminds you that you are not your past. You are a divine creator capable of renewal. When you forgive, you stop feeding negative energy loops. Every time you retell a painful story, you recharge its vibration. Every time you bless and release it, you discharge it. Forgiveness does not change the past, but it changes your relationship to it, and that change alters your entire frequency. What once drained you now strengthens you. What once triggered you now teaches you. Forgiveness turns pain into wisdom, and wisdom vibrates at the frequency of wealth. You may not always feel ready to forgive, but willingness is enough to start. Say, I am willing to forgive. Even if your heart is still heavy, that willingness cracks the door for light to enter. Divine energy rushes into any space left open by intention. The moment you say, I am willing, healing begins. You don't have to force it. Forgiveness unfolds naturally when you stop resisting it. As the static fades, you begin to hear divine guidance clearly again, intuitive nudges, creative ideas, inspired opportunities. They were always there, waiting beneath the noise. Forgiveness and prosperity are inseparable because both depend on flow. Money flows where energy flows, and energy flows where love reigns. You cannot hold resentment in one area and expect abundance in another. The vibration of your being is unified. Whatever disturbs peace disturbs prosperity. When you forgive, you restore harmony to your system, and harmony attracts supply. You may notice that after releasing someone or something, doors begin to open: a new client, an unexpected payment, a sudden inspiration. That is not coincidence, that is energy alignment. Forgiveness also amplifies gratitude. Once the weight of resentment lifts, you begin to see blessings more clearly. Gratitude and forgiveness dance together. One clears the path, the other fills it with light. As you bless those who once wronged you, you reclaim the power you had unknowingly given away. You stop defining yourself by wounds and start defining yourself by wisdom. You realize that nothing was wasted, even pain was a teacher guiding you toward higher consciousness. That realization raises your vibration instantly. When you forgive, you reset your entire energetic field. It's like wiping the dust off a mirror suddenly. Reflection is pure again. You start to attract people, experiences, and opportunities that resonate with your renewed peace. You speak differently, think differently, even walk differently. The static is gone, and your words once again carry authority. Your affirmations begin to work effortlessly because there is no inner contradiction fighting them. Forgiveness unifies your energy, and unified energy is unstoppable. The act of forgiveness is an affirmation itself. Only harmony, love, and abundance express through me. It is the highest statement of faith because it says, I trust divine justice more than human judgment. And divine justice always balances the scales not through punishment, but through restoration. Whatever was lost or taken from you returns multiplied once you release resentment. The universe restores in proportion to the freedom you claim. True forgiveness is not a single act but a vibration you live in. It becomes the atmosphere of your consciousness, a continual openness to peace. You may still remember what happened, but it no longer stings. It no longer shapes your story. You remember as a witness, not a prisoner, and from that clarity, prosperity flows like a river, unblocked, unstoppable, and ever increasing. Forgiveness clears the static. It quiets the noise that kept you from hearing your divine rhythm. It allows your heart to hum once again with gratitude, assurance, and faith. It restores your creative current, sharpens your vision, and raises your frequency to match the wealth already waiting for you. When you forgive, you free yourself. When you free yourself, everything you seek can finally find you because now the signal is clear. Gratitude amplifies the frequency. It is the emotional accelerator that multiplies every good vibration you send into the universe. If faith is the ignition, gratitude is the fuel that keeps the engine of abundance running. It turns the faint hum of hope into a powerful current of manifestation. Gratitude transforms ordinary words into creative commands and simple thoughts into magnetic fields of attraction. When you live in gratitude, you vibrate on the wavelength of wealth, peace, and divine flow. Gratitude is not a passive emotion. It is an active vibration. It is the spiritual sound of recognition, the declaration that says, I see the good, therefore more good comes. The universe expands whatever you acknowledge. To say thank you with feeling is to send out a signal of sufficiency, and sufficiency attracts supply. The person who gives thanks for the little multiplies it into much, while the one who complains about the little loses even what they have. Every expression of appreciation tells the invisible, I am ready for more. And the invisible always responds. The energy of gratitude is magnetic. It changes your mental chemistry, alters your aura, and opens doors that logic could never find. It dissolves resistance faster than effort ever could. Gratitude does not just attract things, it attracts clarity, timing, and harmony. When you are grateful, you become aligned with the creative order of the universe. You stop struggling against life and begin flowing with it. That flow carries prosperity, peace, and opportunity straight into your path. Many believe they must wait until things improve before giving thanks. But that is backward. Gratitude is not a reaction, it is creation. The moment you give thanks in advance, you step into faith, and faith rearranges circumstances. When you say, thank you for my increasing wealth, even before it appears, you activate the law of vibration. You begin to resonate with the reality you desire, not the one you fear. The energy of gratitude projects a message to the universe that says, I already have it. And the universe, hearing that certainty, delivers it. True gratitude must be felt, not just spoken. Empty words do not carry power, feeling does. When you let thankfulness rise from your heart and not just your lips, it radiates through your entire energy field. The more emotion behind your gratitude, the stronger the frequency it emits. This is why a grateful person can enter a room and shift the atmosphere instantly. Their energy communicates abundance before they say a word. Gratitude glows, it cannot be faked, and it cannot be hidden. Gratitude also purifies the mind. It clears the static of doubt, complaint, and worry. When your focus is on blessings, lack cannot dominate your thoughts. It's impossible to be sincerely thankful and fearful at the same time. Gratitude replaces resistance with receptivity. It melts away tension and opens you to inspiration. New ideas, new people, new possibilities begin to appear because your vibration is now tuned to receive. Gratitude makes space for the miraculous. Even challenges carry gifts for those who give thanks. Gratitude transforms difficulty into development. When you bless the lesson within the obstacle, you extract its value instead of its pain. The one who can say, thank you for what this is teaching me, rises above circumstances instead of being ruled by them. That attitude keeps your frequency high even in transition, and a high frequency always attracts resolution, guidance, and increase. Gratitude does not deny hardship, it redeems it. Every moment of gratitude increases your energetic wealth. Each time you notice something good and say, thank you, you send a ripple of light through your consciousness. The more ripples you create, the stronger your field of attraction becomes. Gratitude is cumulative, it builds momentum. One thankful thought leads to another until the entire mind becomes a magnet for miracles. You start seeing abundance everywhere, in nature, in people, in opportunities, in your own reflection. Life itself begins to mirror your thankfulness. Gratitude is also the language of divine partnership. When you say, thank you, you are acknowledging the source from which all good flows. You are saying, I trust the law that governs my life. I know that all is well. This acknowledgement keeps you connected to spiritual supply. It dissolves anxiety because you no longer feel separate from provision. Gratitude reminds you that you are always supported, guided, and provided for. And when you feel supported, you attract support in tangible form through money, ideas, and people who appear at the perfect time. The frequency of gratitude can transform even stagnant situations. A person in debt who gives thanks for the money still circulating begins to open channels of repayment and relief. Someone lonely who gives thanks for the love they already possess within invites companionship into their life. Gratitude turns the smallest seed into a harvest. It's not about pretending. It's about perceiving the good that already exists and magnifying it with your attention. Whatever you magnify through gratitude multiplies. Make gratitude your constant vibration. Wake with it, speak it, breathe it. Say, "Thank you for this new day." Before your feet touch the floor, say, "Thank you for my growing supply," as you handle money. Say, "Thank you for my health, my peace, my ideas, my opportunities," throughout your day. Gratitude builds spiritual momentum. It keeps your energy in motion toward more good. You cannot be grateful and stagnant at the same time. Gratitude keeps you in divine circulation, where blessings never stop flowing. Gratitude amplifies the frequency of everything you desire. It strengthens faith, accelerates manifestation, and harmonizes your energy with the rhythm of the universe. When you live in thankfulness, you broadcast a clear signal of abundance, and abundance responds in kind. The more you give thanks, the more reasons you are given to do so. Gratitude is not merely a virtue, it is a law of expansion. When you master it, you need never chase prosperity, you become prosperity. For gratitude does not just attract wealth, it is the wealth of the soul, and when the soul is rich, everything else follows. Vision made vocal becomes material, that is the divine secret of creation. Every dream that has ever walked the earth first lived in the unseen, breathed through words, and then clothed itself in form. The moment you speak your vision with conviction, you give it permission to enter the world of matter. Words are not mere sounds, they are creative commands, instruments through which spirit becomes substance. To voice a vision is to cast a vibration into the fabric of reality, a frequency that gathers conditions, people, and opportunities to make it visible. The invisible becomes visible through the spoken word. Your voice is the bridge between thought and manifestation. You can think endlessly about wealth, health, love, or success, but until you speak it, the vibration remains dormant. The spoken word activates energy, setting unseen forces into motion. The universe is sound. Sensitive, it responds to vibration. When your words match your vision, creation begins. The phrase, "let there be," has never lost its power. Every time you declare, "Let there be increase in my life," "Let there be harmony in my home," "Let there be clarity in my mind," you are repeating the eternal formula of manifestation. Yet many speak against their own visions without realizing it. They declare lack, limitation, or delay in casual conversation, not knowing they are giving life to the opposite of what they desire. You cannot hold a vision of wealth and continually speak words of worry. You cannot see abundance in your mind and express poverty with your mouth. Speech must align with sight. When your words contradict your vision, you cut the current that brings it into being. But when your words affirm what you see in faith, that vision begins to take root in matter. Every great creation was once spoken in faith before evidence appeared. The architect speaks of buildings before foundations are laid. The inventor speaks of inventions before they exist. The artist speaks of beauty before the canvas is touched. To the untrained ear, such speech sounds like imagination, but to the universe it is command. The visionary's voice carries authority because it vibrates from conviction, not doubt. The moment you begin to describe your dream aloud with certainty, detail, and feeling, you give it energetic coordinates in the realm of form. Speech is the sound of belief. When you voice your vision, you are not merely describing it. You are demonstrating faith in its reality. Every affirmation, every declaration, every word spoken in alignment with your vision becomes a building block in the unseen architecture of your life. Your words carve pathways in the invisible, preparing the material world to receive your idea. Vision that is never spoken remains like a seed locked in the soil, full of potential but withheld from expression. But once you give it a voice, it breaks open and begins to grow. When you make your vision vocal, the atmosphere around you shifts. You begin to feel its reality before it arrives, and that feeling magnetizes conditions to match it. The words you speak shape your emotions, your actions, and even your opportunities. The moment you declare, "I am prospering now," your mind begins to scan for evidence of that prosperity. You move differently. You think creatively. You attract people who resonate with that frequency. The spoken word organizes your inner world so your outer world can align with it. But the power of speech demands consistency. It is not enough to declare your vision once. You must keep speaking it until it becomes a part of your vibration. Every repetition reinforces the signal you are sending into the universe. Words charged with emotion and persistence become magnetic. They begin to gather energy like a rolling wave until the force of manifestation is inevitable. Vision made vocal day after day becomes reality shaped by sound. To make your vision vocal is also to make it sacred. You are partnering with the divine in the act of creation. When you speak your vision, you affirm your role as co-creator with infinite intelligence. You are saying, "I trust the law that transforms vibration into form." You stop waiting for proof and start giving the universe instructions. The voice of faith does not beg, it declares. It knows that what is spoken in truth must come to pass, for the word cannot return void. Even when circumstances appear contrary, keep speaking the vision. The outer world is always a reflection of the inner word, and sometimes the material takes time to adjust to the new vibration. Do not be deceived by delay. Every word spoken in faith is still working beneath the surface. The soil of the universe never forgets a planted seed. Continue watering it with words of praise, gratitude, and certainty. Speak of your vision not as something distant, but as something developing now. There is great creative power in speaking from the end, describing your vision as already accomplished. Say, "I am now living in abundance. I am now surrounded by opportunity. I am now aligned with wealth." These declarations tune your vibration to completion, and the universe responds accordingly. You begin to attract evidence of what you have already accepted in speech. Words spoken from fulfillment draw fulfillment. Words spoken from lack reinforce lack. The voice that speaks with assurance calls things that are not as though they were, and they soon appear. The vision you make vocal becomes a living magnet, a pulse that draws its likeness from the unseen. Every time you speak it with faith, you strengthen its structure in the etheric realm until it crystallizes in the material. The difference between a dreamer and a creator is that the creator speaks. The dreamer hopes, the creator declares. The dreamer waits, the creator commands. To speak your vision is to make a covenant with the unseen and to invite it into form. Your words are divine instruments. Your voice carries the frequency of creation itself. When you align it with your highest vision, not with fear, but with certainty, the universe moves to match your sound. Vision made vocal becomes material, for vibration clothed in word cannot remain invisible. Speak it, believe it, feel it, and watch as your words carve the unseen into shape, until what was once only imagined becomes the reality you live within. Consistency creates resonance, the steady rhythm that turns fleeting desire into lasting manifestation. The universe is not moved by scattered vibration. It responds to sustained frequency. What you repeat, you reinforce. Every word you speak, every affirmation you declare, every feeling you choose again and again becomes part of the energetic tone you broadcast into creation. Just as a musical note held long enough begins to vibrate in harmony with everything tuned to it, your consistent energy attracts experiences that resonate with your dominant vibration. Many speak powerful words for a day or two, then fall back into doubt, fear, or complaint, wondering why nothing changes. But manifestation is not a moment, it is a melody. The key to wealth, health, and peace lies not in the intensity of a single affirmation, but in the constancy of your vibration. When your thoughts and words are stable, your energy field becomes coherent. You stop sending mixed signals to the universe. You become like a tuning fork, clear, unwavering, and precise, and creation rushes to match your sound. Consistency builds faith. Each time you affirm your vision instead of your fear, you strengthen the spiritual muscle of certainty. You are training your subconscious to accept the new frequency as normal, just as water shapes stone through continuous flow. Steady words of truth sculpt reality. Even when you see no evidence, your constancy proves your belief. And belief, held long enough, always materializes. The person who persists in high vibration eventually sees their world rise to meet it. To maintain resonance, your inner and outer speech must agree. You cannot affirm abundance in the morning and complain of lack by noon. You cannot visualize prosperity and then speak fear to your friends. Contradictory vibration cancels itself out. The law is exact. The universe echoes what you are, not what you occasionally say. Each time your words align with your vision, you amplify your magnetic field. Each time you contradict it, you weaken the signal. The one who masters consistency masters manifestation. Consistency is also a form of devotion. It is your declaration to the universe that you are serious about your creation. When you persist in your vibration through highs and lows, through clarity and confusion, you demonstrate unwavering faith. The universe reads that faith as authority. It rearranges circumstances, people, and timing to accommodate your consistency. It must, for vibration attracts its own kind. The stable frequency of faith becomes a gravitational field that draws results into form. Imagine striking a bell. One clear ring can fill a room, but if you keep ringing it with rhythm, soon the whole space begins to hum in harmony. So it is with your words. Each repetition of truth expands the resonance of your reality. When you affirm wealth daily, you are not begging the universe. You are building momentum. The vibration grows stronger, clearer, and more magnetic. Opportunities appear, inspiration flows, the right people cross your path. Not because you forced them, but because your consistent resonance called them. Consistency does not mean mechanical repetition. It means emotional alignment. Empty words have no power, but heartfelt repetition engraves vibration into your being. Feel what you speak. Speak what you feel. Every sincere affirmation charges your atmosphere with the energy of fulfillment. Over time, this vibration becomes so stable that even when outer conditions waver, your inner tone does not. You stop reacting to appearances and begin creating them. That is the power of resonance. When your vibration remains steady, reality conforms. Consistency also creates trust between you and the invisible. Each time you choose faith instead of fear, you reinforce your partnership with the divine. You are saying, I believe in this law enough to live it daily. The universe loves consistency because it mirrors divine order. The planets move in rhythm, the tides flow in pattern, the sun rises with precision. When your vibration becomes rhythmic, you enter that same cosmic harmony. You stop chasing manifestations and start harmonizing with them. There will be moments when doubt whispers, when the old vibration tries to return. That is the test of resonance. Do you waver or do you hold your tone? The one who remains consistent through silence and delay is the one who becomes unstoppable. For the law is clear. Energy that is steady cannot be denied. It may take time for the material to adjust, but once vibration stabilizes, manifestation must follow. It is law immutable, unfailing, exact. Consistency turns words into worlds. A single declaration may plant the seed, but continuous faith waters it. Daily gratitude gives it sunlight. Repeated vision gives it structure. Soon, what was once unseen begins to grow roots in reality. The steady gardener always harvests. The impatient one digs up the seed to check if it's growing. Be steady. Speak your truth. Hold your tone. Your life right now vibrates at the level of your most consistent thoughts and words. Change your rhythm, and you change your results. The more unwavering your energy, the stronger your magnetic field. Consistency does not just create results, it creates resonance, and resonance draws your vision into form. Keep your frequency fixed on wealth, gratitude, and faith, and soon everything around you will begin to hum in harmony with your vibration. The universe has no choice but to echo the sound you refuse to stop singing. Faith-filled words form a shield, an invisible armor that surrounds your mind, your affairs, and your destiny. They are the spiritual defense system against fear, doubt, and negativity. When your words are saturated with faith, no opposing vibration can penetrate your energy field. You become untouchable to despair, immune to lack, and protected from confusion. Words spoken in faith are not mere affirmations, they are declarations of divine authority. They say to the universe, I know who I am, I know what I carry, and I know that all things are working for my good. The moment you speak from faith, you step into a higher vibration, a frequency where fear cannot dwell. Faith is magnetic, but it is also protective. It forms a boundary that repels anything inconsistent with its energy. When you declare, I am always supplied, the vibration of shortage cannot attach itself to you. When you say, I am guided and guarded, chaos cannot find its way into your path. Your words become spiritual shields, unseen yet immensely powerful, shaping what can and cannot enter your experience. The greatest battles are fought in the mind, and your words are your weapons. Every time you speak faith instead of fear, you fortify your inner fortress. Fear dissolves when it cannot find an echo in your speech. Doubt weakens when it is starved of your attention. Faith-filled words are not passive. They are assertive vibrations that declare dominion over circumstance. They create an atmosphere where only harmony, increase, and peace can thrive. Faith-filled words are not about denying reality. They are about declaring truth above reality. When appearances suggest loss, faith says, all things are restored. When situations look delayed, faith says, divine timing is perfect. When money seems scarce, faith says, I live in an unlimited universe. These words don't ignore facts, they transcend them. They lift your consciousness to the level where divine law operates, the level where supply, health, and opportunity are always present. The energy of faith is unshakable. It refuses to be moved by appearances. It speaks the end from the beginning. The person who walks in faith knows that every spoken word charged with conviction rearranges conditions, whether seen or unseen. The shield of faith is not forged in panic, it is built in praise. Gratitude and assurance strengthen it daily. You speak from confidence, not desperation, from alignment, not anxiety. Faith-filled words are calm, steady, and certain, and that certainty becomes your protection. When your words carry faith, they alter the energy around you. Rooms feel lighter, situations soften, and even people begin responding differently. The vibration of faith dissolves resistance.